All right, everybody. Welcome to the Janitorials Podcast. My name is Zach. I'll be your host here. Just do a little plugs here as we get started. If you like any of our gear, it comes from Badass Moms, badassmoms.com. Hit her up. She's phenomenal. If you want to reach out to the show, it's the Janitorials Podcast at gmail.com. We're also on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. It's all the Janitorials, YouTube, the Janitorials. Just search that. You'll find us. I'm going to introduce everybody as always on the show. The man sitting to my left is Mr. Lips, Teeth, Tip of the Tongue over here. My dude, Joe Barrow. What's up, brother?
Happy to be back, everybody.
The guy to my right is Mr. Phil out of 2X. Gonna show off for the camera. The guy that you can't the guy that you can't see, but he's the wizard. He does everything ones and twos for us. What's up, wizard? That's his response. Today's show, we're going to be talking about the federal livable wage, minimum wage, and robot ascension. With that being said, let's just see where this goes. Joe Bear, you got any knowledge for anybody?
Well, I actually have a question to kind of like start everything off with. Is do you think that a single person or a family can survive off of the minimum wage?
So that's perfect right here. So that was, we looked it up, and that's the definition, right? The livable wage is the amount of least possible wage required to sustain a family's livable
wage
condition.
Yeah, got you.
Do I think that's for a family?
For a family?
No.
Across the board, no.
Not even close.
Not without getting some sort of help.
We all got nays here.
So you would have to be subsidized then, right?
Yeah.
Like there would have to be, what type of programs are out there that you could name?
Food stamps.
Right.
Food stamps. I can't remember what the one is called where they like reduce your rent.
That's not really like a Section 8.
Yeah, it is.
They
Section
do got
8.
Section 8, and then they got these programs for helping you if you don't have money get into houses, like allowing counties to, you know what I'm talking about? It's called like I can't remember the exact name for it off the top of my head.
Do you know how hard?
If you don't make a certain amount of money, if you make like $30,000 or less or $40,000 or less, you can apply to this program, and then in a year or 2 years later, you get on a list to help you get in a house, and you might not even have to ever pay on that house.
Man, we're going down a rabbit hole already. Already.
So like the federal minimum wage is what, $7.25 an hour?
Yeah.
That's a good question, because you know how hard it is to get food stamps?
Very.
I used to make $12.25 an hour, and I tried to get them, and they told me I made way too much money.
Yeah.
And same with like the housing. Like I know people that they could actually get into that program, and it was very helpful, but it's devastating because like then when they actually try to go out and get a job and they're making the minimum wage, they stop giving that to them, and then they're right back in the same situation where they can't afford the rent, can't afford all the bills, and then they have to go right back on it.
I just made this comment yesterday on a post about there's these things called ketamine clinics, and I get special health care anyway, and I can't pay for regular stuff because the kind of health I need is outside those brackets, so I have to pay out of pocket. Right. Everything you do when it comes to doing, then it starts to get into a different bracket. So it goes just like Jerry just said. I might make almost $100,000, but they're saying they give people help for $45,000. Doesn't change. They just live in an area and I live in a different area. All of a sudden, inflation changes it, so we're making the same. Doesn't relatively change. We're all still hurting the same way.
Yeah.
So you see where I'm coming from?
So, and then to get back to what Joe Bear was asking, so we all said no. How can we change that? Or would you want to change that to where the minimum wage can support a single family? So when you say single family, 1 kid, 2 kid, 3 kids?
Yeah.
4 kids?
You're farm life, and at that point,
right?
No,
you used to get tax breaks for having up to 11 kids.
No, Maryland's 8. By the way, if you pop 8 out, you get.
That's a lot.
That's another reason why Maryland's better.
A lot.
It's farm laws.
Well, I don't think that's reasonable. If you have like 3 or 4 kids, I don't think you should expect to be able to survive off a minimum wage, even if they raised it.
But at that point, like, you shouldn't be having that much family if you're only going to be working a minimum wage job.
I agree.
So then it should be it's up to the individual to educate or
Absolutely.
get education.
like to me, minimum wage is like for kids that are just starting out, like what we were all talking about upstairs, like doing the paper routes, doing like working at McDonald's or something like that.
Yep.
While they're in school and trying to better themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Hey.
Anything else you got?
Well, that kind of goes in. That kind of goes into the second question that I had is: does hiking minimum wage help the consumer or the worker?
Helps the worker, not the consumer. The consumer is the price, everything's gonna go up. And let me tell you something.
But
These right now.
These MFers that can't even make my McDonald's sandwich right, they don't deserve $15, $17 an hour.
We're not on standard television. You can cuss all you want.
so yeah, that's what I was about to say.
But
like,
I don't want to get demonetized.
that's what I was about to say. Like, if you raise the minimum wage,
You have to be monetized to get demonetized. Just saying.
if you raise the minimum wage, I expect a certain level of servicing. Like he was saying, I've never, in probably the last 3 years, I've not gone to a fast food restaurant and something wasn't fucked up.
So I have
Sandwiches smashed.
I got a slight disagreement. Disagreement. So the reason, yes, it does help the worker, but also when you start wage hiking, you're going to have to let people go. If you're not passing the price on to the consumer, because that's the only way you'll be able to support the wage of the workers.
I can see that too. I mean, because if you look at a couple different fast food restaurants, if we would put Taco Bell, McDonald's, and Chick-fil-A in the lineup, which one have you never had an issue with? I've never had an issue with Chick-fil-A. Service is fast. They're always nice.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A.
And my sandwiches don't get all messed up.
Yeah, I'll say Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, definitely.
Yeah, they're, my headphones are on.
Oh,
Yeah, they're probably the best out of the worst. Chick-fil-A.
I can't hear him. I think it's his mic.
We'll keep talking.
yeah. Chick-fil-A has always been on point. But in reality, say us four, our company, it starts wage hiking. Let's just say, I don't know, Subway or whatever, and they either, if they're not going to pass the buck on to the consumer, which it's either the consumer has to pick up the price because of the wage hike, or we have to let people go and keep 2 people out of the 4, because then we have to give those 2 people a piece of the the hourly wages from the other 2 that we had to let go.
Yeah, that sounds good. Continue. Sorry. So we're working through some technical difficulties.
Your mic is good, by the way. I hear you.
Yeah, it wasn't at first.
Yeah, I couldn't
for a
hear
while.
it first.
But so what I was saying was, would y'all say that it can only go 2 ways? Let's say the wage hikes go up. You don't want anything to affect your business or the let's say the Subway sandwiches, $5. That's what they that's their selling point.
Well, so if you start a foot long too, if that's the case, I'm getting out the tape measure.
Well,
you gotta double check.
Let me ask you a question.
Double check.
If you raise minimum wage, or do you think everybody else's salaries should go up? Like everybody here at this table, has a more important job than a fast food restaurant?
Well, we're just talking about in the retail and fast food, because what we do is totally.
It's really relative.
It is,
because fast food is not an essential service.
Right.
It's been made one.
Okay.
So if you took fast food out of the equation, all the poor people wouldn't be able to eat as easily.
So what would you do if you were forced to wage hike? What would you do?
Am I the business owner?
Yes. What would you do?
I would go into robots.
Okay.
I would get rid of the people. They won't make mistakes. And if they do make mistakes, I can program it to where they don't.
So automation.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yep.
And then I don't have to worry about overworking them. I don't have to worry about them taking 15-minute breaks.
Right.
I don't have to worry about them, spitting in people's sandwiches and stuff.
Yep.
I don't have to worry about all that.
That's right.
I agree with that.
And I think that's where it's going to go.
So do you think that these fast food joints could survive with the automation and maybe like 1 or 2 people on site?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they're going to be more of like the IT guys.
How do you feel about what happened during COVID and them swapping out cashiers for self-checkouts?
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah, it's way
I'm
faster.
a mix. I'm a mix of emotions about that.
That's the beginning of automation right there.
Yeah, it is.
You've taken away the cashier job. You've taken away a 16-year-old, 15-year-old's job that allows them to sit there and work and kind of get some social experience.
But at the same time, like when these
For a
prices
machine.
keep going up like that, like you were saying, like everybody's wages are going to have to go up for that. The cost of living is rising. We need to be
And plus now I need you to be a tech.
right.
On top of that.
So,
Right.
so if we're going to
that
make people
justifies.
smarter, are we going to change the dynamic of how the wealth is distributed? Because this is what we're getting down to, this living wage. You take a job away from someone, that just puts more money into the corporate pocket. That doesn't
Correct.
trickle down to us or anyone
Correct.
else.
But you take a job away from a person, like you were saying, socially, but you give a job to somebody that wants to get into programming, like you were saying that.
And now you give someone who's socially inept a job and make society just more of a robot. Because people that are techs generally aren't socially gifted.
Right. But
I mean,
also,
that's where we're headed anyways, though.
I can agree to that. At least 50%, just because of what we do and who we've encountered.
We encounter, we know
Yeah.
every day. We get a nice mix of
hey,
it
make
on
a
our
ticket
side.
for that. I'll get that fixed. For you.
Yeah.
Good. So
If it ain't a ticket, we don't
we
do
don't
it.
do nothing. So I'm good with that. You know what I mean? I think I broke the wizard, by the way.
Remember, that's just our perspective of where we live.
Right.
You know,
Right.
We're working in a state of getting a nice view of that automation.
Yeah.
So you get to do it. Like I don't like dealing with a lot of people. So I can agree on both sides of the equation. But I still would like that experience. I'm not doing go to
Yes.
the movie theater.
Yeah.
I want the booth person to be a
Yep.
booth person.
Yeah.
But now I go there, here's your ticket. I don't even have to go to the booth person anymore.
Right.
The experience is gone.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
the experiences. I agree with that. I kind of agree with both sides too. I guess it just depends on what type of mood I'm in. Like if I'm just running in to grab one thing, I don't want to stand in line for a half hour. So I kind of like having that self checkout.
7-Eleven, put a guy at the door with a gun. Make everything else self-checkout. Good to go.
They're working on that. They're already working on that. They have
Them and McDonald's.
They already have these bulletproof. So you know how when you go and get you go to 7-Eleven, you open up the fridge doors and stuff. They're changing those fridge doors to be facial recognition. They're all like I think they're rolling it out in California. I didn't.
I was about
know
ready to say
statistics.
it had to be from California.
It
because
is.
of how they changed the laws about the theft.
Yep, it is.
And
It is.
the amount that they steal isn't technically a felony or anything like that. So they're not even going after them.
No, yeah, right. So you have to have something to counterbalance. So if we're not going to chase you, then we're just going to deter you from.
Right.
So
I like
Oh,
that.
we'll
I'm cool
see
with
you in
that.
court.
I'm cool with that. That's I don't like
Yeah.
loss prevention guys chasing anybody down.
right, because
But
I mean you could
at
lose
the
your
same-
life over a soda. You know. Right.
But at the same time, that's
These
kind of
days?
going towards
I can look at a soda.
the
right now.
robots, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
We're making a great case for machines right here.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's feeding right into it. But I'm tired of hearing the complaints about people that are like our age.
Yeah.
And they're working these minimum wage jobs.
Yep.
And complaining about how they're never ahead and they can't do this. Well, they don't put the effort forward. They don't want to wake up before noon.
Right.
And
Right.
they don't want to work late. They don't want to work overtime.
No, people are
gotta put the work
definitely
in.
people are definitely lazy, and I know this is probably not this can be part of our topic, but the that's starting to talk about kind of go down the road of universal basic income because you got more and more people who are just want to collect.
Right.
They just want to collect. They don't want to
I would be
fucking
okay
go
with
out.
it. I would be okay with a universal basic income.
No, I wouldn't.
Screw food stamps, right? You set a bar. You set a bar. This is what you get. And in order to get out of that bar, you got to educate yourself and graduate to this point. You'll never get out of it.
No, I
unless you
can't
do.
disagree any more than that.
I agree with Jay.
Because, I mean, think about it. I don't have the same education as you,
No, you just
but I
got
have the
lucky.
experience.
It's about putting yourself in a place and time and being lucky.
No, it's not anything about luck. It's about hard work and making sure that you're the first one there, last one to leave.
If it was universal, I wouldn't have motivation.
Right.
You're
I would sit on the couch. You're
All
gonna
right.
pay. You're gonna
You're
pay me what
also
I pay
missing
now.
the
I'll sit
main
on the
point of
couch.
exchanging health here. Your time and money is an exchange for health. So what you're one person's cancer is different to another person's cancer.
But then on the flip side though, you're making people more lenient on handouts. That's why I kind of so I feel like the buildup of our economy has been to become more lenient on the government.
All right, listen, Mr. President of the United States. I have something that you can change, and I think it'll be for the better. Get rid of food stamps. Give them the essentials to survive: rice, potatoes, and some sort of meat. I don't want to see these people having like better phones than I do, better purses and wallets and stuff, and better shoes than I have.
That's what I was advocating for.
And then they go in and get like
it is
shrimp and crabs and stuff.
It is a socialistic standpoint. But if you want to escape that socialistic base of economy, you've got to educate your family, go get into that pool. I mean, it's what the UK does. Why wouldn't we do any different? Over here, we believe in independence, but it's
education
it's
doesn't. Education to me is about as useless as this table. Honestly,
it depends on what you get educated in.
Okay,
I mean think
well,
about
we're not talking about skill trades though, but we're just talking about the regular curriculum. English, math, and shit like that, right?
That's fine. I mean, I graduated high school and that's it.
Yeah.
Do you think that people that went to college and got their master's degree in English, an English major, is actually going to be any more
better off
than the people that are sitting here at this table?
No, not at all.
You've got middle class, which is what we believe middle class is, and then you've got everyone who filters into it.
I feel like the average person doesn't have the connections that certain individuals do. Because say you go to college for paleontology, right?
Mm-hmm. My son loves that.
It's a great field.
Right. So,
but you're going to spend a lot of time earning your rank in it.
You're going to be doing a lot of volunteer work and all this other stuff to make a name for yourself, nonprofits and stuff like that. But if you know a good company or you will have to be connected to be going, to go to the top. We got an expedition going to the Antarctic. Most likely you're not going. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be somebody else that's some rich kid, some wealthy, well-known family.
That's what paying for the trip.
No,
they're not getting.
No, I'm just talking about him being at the front line.
He's talking about who gets to eat with the spoon first. It's
yes,
the one who's got the gold versus silver.
Yeah.
Silver versus bronze.
But here's the other thing that I feel that if we go and get educated, right, something that needs to change is the cost that it costs the kids to go to college.
I agree.
Because by the time they come out with their degree, they're already in a mortgage.
Yes. Yep.
I think we need
and
then
they're expecting a job that pays with what people with years of experience have done.
Right.
Oh well, I've went to college for it. I've studied X amount of hours for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, basic college degree only gets you about 50, 60,000 now.
Okay, let's say they get their master's degree.
Master's gets you up to 70, 80.
What about a PhD?
PhD gets you 100 to 120.
Okay.
And then specialty gets you 150
But how many years
plus.
of just studying with zero experience in the field?
It's got to be
so
like 8.
It's 4 years.
8 years of...
What is it? 8 for PhD.
4 for regular school.
Yep.
You can do your master's in 6.
In 6 years.
You can do it in 6 because they have accelerated programs now.
Yep. It's an extra 2 years after your bachelor's.
So that's 6.
A master's program can run up to 8. PhDs, depending on it, can go 8 to 12.
Yeah.
You can also do it accelerated in 6 if you're a genius.
So how many total years from the time you're 18, graduate high school, until you graduate college with your PhD?
Bro.
Depends on the person.
Let's say the average person.
26,
Average
30.
person's about 26.
26 years old with zero experience, and they want more than what the person with the same amount of years of schooling, but they have experience.
So all those people, they end up going into either specialized or administrative positions versus working in the top of the labor.
How do you
trade.
feel about that? If somebody would come into our industry and do the same thing,
I hate it. I've been to
Well,
both
why
ends
is
of the
that?
spectrum because I'm in the middle. I haven't finished my education.
okay, but somebody
Even
that
though I'm
works
smart enough
hard,
that I
that
should have
works
worked
hard,
and I've worked hard enough that on my resume it says so. But just like in our positions, I can't really get it rank up.
but that's where I'm kind of getting at. We need to fix the narrative. You have to have school to be able to do these jobs that we think you need college degrees to do.
It still comes down to it's not always who you or what you know. It's about who you know, where you're at, and when you're at. Promotions always come based off of being where you're at. It's in the right time, right place.
That's why I was talking from the average person standpoint. We have to work hard. We have to. We don't have a choice. We don't.
And
I think it boils back to what you're saying.
agree.
Everybody's got to work hard to get somewhere.
And I kind of agree with what you were saying, that it's time and a place, but the same time, if you're not working hard and you're not busting your ass, you're not going to get promoted.
Hell no. Look, I'll use what just happened. Everybody's seen that I left. If I was making universal wage like we were talking earlier, I wouldn't have answered that call.
Yeah. Just stay down here. I'll fuck him.
Yeah.
I'll call him back.
It's a responsibility factor is what it boils down to. It's who puts you in a position to be responsible to handle that stuff so that they don't have to be there.
And you should get paid for that.
And as it should valued. So the same guy who's working at McDonald's obviously doesn't have the same responsibility as either one of you.
Right. But then at the same time, they should be having a universal pay then.
UBI is more of a socialist structure.
Absolutely.
It's more of a socialist structure. So
where country should we be mirroring ourselves towards?
So
as a good structure like that.
But you doing what we do now, you're making the same amount as this dude that's sitting at home playing Xbox. How is that fair?
Because they can go on Twitch now and they found a way to hack it.
Yeah, but see, that's different. They're not in the same. They're not in the same industry. They're not doing the same job that we're doing. You know what I mean?
It's not nearly as hard of work. It's just the amount of time and work
but
that you consider hard.
Those guys are still putting in the time to do that. He's talking about just an average Joe sitting on the couch collecting his check,
right?
Making the same amount as you.
That Twitch is on the side. He's doing that on the side. That's on the side.
Most people doing the Twitch now aren't doing side stuff.
No. That's an example.
Like 6 years ago.
Well, what I'm saying is, okay, if you don't have a job, you can get universal basic income, right? So say the dude,
you're saying someone who's trying to moonlight and
collect that check,
cop and collect from the government,
and that's what's going to happen.
And that's what's exactly what's
it's going to happen. That's
listen. Well, you see what's going on right now. They're cutting that all back now. You've got to start promoting your business now. You got Cash App and all that stuff.
No, but what he's trying to say is like what you were talking about, like where it should be everybody gets paid the same amount, and then if you want any more, then you got to do something extravagant and go to school and get educated and stuff like that.
What would you rather do? Would you rather work hard and then put your family to a place so your family can become second generational and actually get there? Or do you just want to expect it all for yourself? Because that's where the real problem lies. It lies like, I want it. I want my car. I want this. I want that. I want to have it all.
Absolutely.
Where do you start sacrificing saying, okay, it's not for me. It's for my children.
But hold on. So what I'm going to teach my son is bust your ass and you'll make it.
Right.
Don't stick your hand out and expect to make it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to show him by example, work hard every day and you'll get this. If you don't work hard every day, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that if you work hard long enough, you'll get somewhere.
Yeah.
As long as you have the right personality for it.
But if we do like everybody gets what we all make, let's throw a number out there. So everybody gets $60,000 a year. Guess what? I'm quitting tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm out.
Done.
I'm out.
Deuces.
I'll make it work.
Hey, me.
I'm going to get a part-time job, yeah.
I ain't going to get a part-time job. I'll
me
just
either.
sit there and drink beer and mow the grass.
I will make it that shit stretch.
And then wouldn't that deteriorate people from going to college because you're going to absorb all this debt if I'm only getting $60,000 a year? I can never pay that off. But if I went to school for something that's going to pay me a lot more, again, it comes back to motivation.
But who's paying for that?
If I'm only getting $60,000 a year, and if I say, all right, if I go to school and I manage to do this, and I manage to pull off something, and they're going to put me in a field, and I'm at 80, 90, 100, I'm going to do that versus be stuck at 60, because now I got motivation for an extra like $20,000, $30,000 increase.
But you got to think though, more people would be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah.
So then
That's fine.
Then
They got to do something basic for it.
But then the people that are doing those specialty jobs
start popping kids
are
out.
paying for that.
So then you don't
Somebody will have to pay for that.
You don't want a universal pay then.
No.
Oh.
I do want a universal pay.
But you just said, though, if you could go to school and make more money.
I want a universal starting bracket, just like all trades earn you about $50,000 a year. You automatically know if you go into a trade, you're going to get that.
They probably make a lot more than that.
No, trade starts you off about the same way. It's all based on college. So
Yeah,
what the college median is what
I would say
you're not
that
coming out of being a journeyman to go and be a master electrician. Hell no. You got to go and be a journeyman.
Yeah, but those journeymen are still making a lot more than that.
Six figures, man.
Yeah.
Journeyman didn't start making
I'm not lying with you. When I was in high school,
I know how much I can go paid right now. If you got to get your journeyman's license right now, you go back, you get 65.
No, when I was in high school, my mom's ex-husband, he didn't have his master's. He went and started doing what the hell is it called now? I can't even think of the name. Piecework. So you get paid what you get done.
Oh yeah.
So he didn't have a master's. He didn't have his journeyman's, but guess what? He went from site to site to site, and he knocked it out. And we worked for 8 hours. He's like, I'm only showing you this because I want you to know if you work hard, this is what you can get. and he showed me a check over $30,000, 1 day job. Let me repeat that, 1 day job.
Piecework is like that, though.
Yeah, but he didn't have a master's.
It's feast or famine. So what would you rather have? Would you rather have stability, or would you have feast or just famine? Also, all jobs are created equal. Like sales jobs, you work off commission.
It depends. It depends on the company.
To push motivation and hard work.
Yeah.
It's some skills are just dependently different for other people. Society's set up in different fashion. Would we no longer need sales jobs because they're just telling us what we need now?
See, I feel that if we give the people that are the kind of people that want their hands out and want to be given everything, if we give them the bare minimum to survive, then they're actually going to go out there and work hard. Right now, they have it too good. Like, they're lining up, and, you know, when me and my wife first got together, we're having the phone out, calculating how much stuff we in. We barely got a whole cart full of stuff. And then these people have in front of us have 2 carts, better shoes, all that shit.
Man.
And they pay with an EBT card.
Bro.
And it just drives you crazy.
It does. It does.
And like, you're out there busting your ass like 70, 80
They're
hours
all
a
going to
week.
change that, though.
Well,
That's all going to change soon. So
That pisses me off.
You won't be
So
able to
like,
do that.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you give them the bare minimum, guess what? They're either going to make it or they're going to go out there and start working so they can make it.
Well, and then there's people that cheat the system. I'm gonna throw people. I ain't gonna use your name, but I know people that had EBT cards and would sell it for cash.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
dude,
give you
yeah.
double. Give me $10
yeah,
cash.
give
I'll
me a
give
pack of
you 20.
cigarettes and I'll buy you something.
Classic.
So does that program help?
No.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Give them bare minimum. Give them rice, beans, potatoes. That's it.
You do
That's
it.
all you
do
got.
it. That's the best way to do it. If there was some kind of socialist handout, it would be starting with how I do things. Food.
But didn't it used to be like that though? They would give you the government cheese and you would have a milk or you know what I mean?
that
There
was
was always
always
like this.
like
They have
there was
they
always
have
this
these
care.
coupons.
It was these packages
Yeah.
that would always go out.
But you still had to go out and get them and that kind of thing. But it was still breaking the system because I knew of people that would go and get like 6 or 7 gallon milks,
and
then they would like, hey, I'll give you this gallon of milk. You got something else or something like that.
So those vouchers, because that's what they used to be, physical vouchers, the food stamps, and then you go out and redeem because that's all it is. Those
Now you got an EBT card.
EBT card, but yeah, now.
Yeah, I mean, but you think about it, like somebody can use their EBT card to go into like I don't know, any seafood place. You can't buy cooked food, right? Well, steaming's free. So they don't charge you to do it, so it doesn't go into the card. So these guys are going out there and they're getting like, a bushel of crabs, getting some shrimp. And I'm like, man, a bushel of crabs, I just checked it out last week. It's $350 for a bushel.
Right.
Oh, damn. Damn.
I'd love to eat like that every day.
Eating
me
sushi
too.
and just using that acid to cook it, right?
Right.
Come on. System's broken. The system needs
Yeah,
to
it
change.
is.
It's been broken, though. It's set to be broken.
Yeah. Because you want people to argue against each other.
Exactly.
You want rivalry.
And that's what I'm trying to get at. If there was some base to not argue against, then no one could argue against it.
And
what
that's-
we're arguing here at this point right now is the minimum wage, what's set the base.
Right, and that's how it's easier to keep power over somebody if you have your opponents arguing against themselves.
Right.
Correct.
Right. Did you have any other questions or anything to add to it? Anybody else?
Oh, I got something.
I know you do.
I got
Bring it
more.
up.
Throw them in there.
I got more,
Throw
man.
'em in
Mics
there.
are hot.
This,
Bring
this,
it up.
this is why I want to go to robot automation. I mean, because minimum wage was designed for, like I was saying, like for kids that are in high school, that's their first time job.
Yeah.
And it was a good starting point for them to understand what they have to do
It
to.
was definitely not designed for kids. It was definitely designed in the 50s and the 60s that the random person could literally get a living wage and feed a family of 2 on it. And now you
What
can't
age
even-
did you start working, sir?
Well, I can't legally tell you that, but legally 16.
Okay, well, at what age does it matter or not that you supposedly had worked?
Because you
I
don't
was
pay
13.
taxes.
Yeah, me too. 13.
So you don't have to pay taxes.
Right.
Because if you're getting paid under a bar,
Correct.
right, there's no tax. So
Right.
That doesn't go
Oh
to
no,
state.
my shit was taxed.
My shit wasn't.
Mine-
My shit was paid under the table. And shit before that,
That was a
I was
different time
helping
period.
farmers with
These were the 90s.
helping farmers with hay and shit like that. So I mean, they were getting free child labor.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, but
But that's
minimum wage should have been a starting point for paying those first time job kind
those
of jobs.
type of jobs build character versus going to the grocery store. Working for the man's not the same as working for
someone who could provide you some type of guidance.
When my brother showed me how to make money cutting lawns and helping him out or helping his friend out, it was just like, okay, here's some comic book money. I didn't think any different of it.
But it got you like to actually go out and get your own instead of saying, hey mom, hey dad, can you give me like $10 so I can go out and get a comic book?
Exactly.
Like, no shit. I got how much money? I'm buying 10 comic books.
Get what I want.
Yeah.
That's the lesson. It's all about the lesson.
So, us three agree on no basic income, and you said basic income will be good
for the world that we're heading towards. You're not going to be able to get away with it because we're going to be constantly in the middle of fighting all the time. We're never going to reach any common ground.
But you can't. But you can't satisfy everybody, especially if you're giving them handouts. Because I mean, in my opinion, it's kind of a handout.
My wife is German. Germany runs just fine. America doesn't. The only reason Germany doesn't work the way we do is they don't have as much territory.
Well, they got some social problems.
Yeah,
they do have social fucking
Their social problems
over
are
there.
because they're who they're bordered up against.
Now,
they weren't bordered up against other countries. They wouldn't have the
their financials. Their financials might be different.
Other countries and shit in there. But wasn't there a country that like shut down an entire world war for something or started something? Yeah, I do believe so.
Germany?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like Russia's doing right now?
Absolutely.
Like World War II?
Absolutely. But what happened? They make their money useless by doing shit like that. So then they have to come up with these programs to actually make it to where all these, all the people that weren't a part of that being able to live. Because by their higher powers, they start these wars and they make their money useless. And that's exactly what happened in Germany. That's what's happening with
resources and control. People don't start wars randomly.
And who is affected by that?
The people.
The people are affected by it. Yeah.
So that is why this is the fix that they have to do.
Up top fucks the bottom.
Yeah, like I said,
what you're seeing now in that country is a result of what Hitler started. And
no, not now. What we're seeing is now the poor economic breakdown from what happened from their prime minister.
But how long did it take for them to get their country back to where their money was actually worth something?
They're by the 70s.
No. And then Russia's going to be the same. Russia's money's they're probably going to use it for toilet paper.
The other day, the automotive industry is what literally brings the country to where it's at.
BMW? That's the only thing they got going on.
That's what helped out Germany, was their car industry. Same thing with America. That's why they got bailed out. If America hadn't gotten bailed out on their cars and their banks, where the hell would we be? Nowhere.
No, actually, from
housing market,
back in the World War II, when they actually shut everything down, a lot of our tanks and all of our equipment was made from like Ford, Chevy, Harley Davidson, all that shit. So they used their factories as a factory for military. But yeah.
To me, like World War I or World War II, because World War I we were handing out before World War I happened. We were handling
World War I and World War II.
We started handing them weaponry.
And that's why Harley Davidson survived and Indian didn't.
We haven't stopped doing the same dumb shit we started in the problem. We hand other countries weaponry, and then we sit back and be like, popcorn.
Another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back.
Yeah.
It's all socialist programs here that start based off of.
But that's why I was kind of going down that rabbit hole, is because when you started bringing up the other countries and what they were doing, it's a result of what happened in the past. And we'll see the same thing with Russia. They're going to have some sort of different way of doing things because now their money is useless.
Or they're trading in yuan.
It's not useless. Yuan. They're just gearing up with China. It's inevitable.
But their money right now is useless.
Mexico.
Like if you had any currency,
it's the yen
of Russian currency, it's useless.
It's useless to the world.
Every show has a stupid moment. I'm glad you got this. I had the last.
Hold on, what happened? What did you do? I missed it.
I said it's the yan, or is it the yuan?
Yin yang.
It's the yen. So they're if you want to buy oil from Russia right now, you have to do it in
Yen is Japan.
the Chinese currency.
Right.
Yuan.
Yeah. What is it?
Yuan. Yuan.
Yuan.
You win, sir.
I forgot the
You
U. I thought it was just my buddy from South America. Juan, you have
South
Juan.
America's the yuan.
Yeah, the Juan.
The peso.
Right. He's got a sombrero on the coin, like. Right?
It's all right, I'm 116.
Of everything.
I'm 132nd.
132nd. So, all right. So then I guess we are indifferent about the UBI. Well, one person.
One person.
All right.
That's my job, though.
It's only 25%. We're good.
Right?
Yeah.
75% is right.
It's all good.
Majority rule.
The majority. I'm just kidding. The majority.
We love you.
Yeah. So
So in this case, we'll be the government and we'll just keep you down.
Hey, you want a bag of potatoes?
Now you guys see where I was going with this.
bag of potatoes. Oh man. So do we have anything else on how else do y'all feel about that? The minimum wage?
I think that grown adults need to stop thinking that they can survive off of minimum wage, because it'll never happen.
And not complain about it.
Yeah.
And not complain.
If you are going to try to live off of minimum wage, I see a lot with retired people. They don't have a mortgage anymore. They just have to pay their taxes.
Right.
Minimum wage would be fine to live off of. Kids starting out, 15, 16, 17-year-olds,
Yeah.
before they go to college, even during college,
Yeah.
spending money. Trying to support a family? No.
Yeah. No. Because then you need those fucking handouts.
Yeah.
You need them. You need the handouts.
That's just my personal take. I'm probably going to get some criticism off of that, but
It's just okay. So I'm just going off of people that I've come across over just in general. People are lazy. They are lazy. They're
lazy.
generally lazy. They don't. It's either it might be both. Either they're lazy or they're scared of change. Like, because I've offered a couple of guys to get in with in the industry that we're in.
good cover.
With doing contracting, because in our industry it's a lot of contracting before you can get to where to a permanent. But and this particular guy, he settled for some factory job, making like $10 or $15 less than what I told him that he would be able to make in our industry.
Starting out.
Yeah, starting out, because of course, man, and it just, I think he could tell I was disappointed, because I would like, I told him to get his resume up to par and just hit me up. He's one of my neighbors. He lives on our street, and so I bumped into him twice since I asked him. I'm like, yeah, it was did you get the resume? He's like, no, not yet. And then the last time I asked him, I was like, did you get the resume? He was like, no. And I was just like, I think he can tell, he can sense it, that I was just like, you know what, fuck it. But then he sent me a text like, well, I got the job at, this place, and I knew it was a factory. And I'm just like,
But how far was that factory from where he lives?
it's not that far.
So then he's spending time close to home.
Yeah,
It balances out to some people.
Yeah, but
No,
for
it
that though,
doesn't.
if you can't even take the time to get your resume up to par, you shouldn't get the better paying job.
See, like you did more than what I would have done. I would have only asked one time.
One time. Yeah,
And that's
I know.
it. Like,
I
hey,
know.
you asked me,
Yeah.
I'm asking you for this. If you don't give it to me, guess what? I'm not putting my neck out on the line for certain people. Like, only certain people I'll do that for.
So he was doing landscaping, and then I guess it slowed down. So he was doing landscaping with his father-in-law, and I guess business slowed down. So he was like, I need to get another job. If I was in his shoes, he's got two kids. They got a townhouse. They got 2 cars. If I was in his shoes and someone came up to me and was like, look, I can get you in this industry, and that industry needed people, and it was, starting out, I would have been making, a certain amount that I had never made before, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
My resume would have been up to par that night. So it's like, why are people being so fucking lazy? That's lazy.
It is.
It's not just even if you're. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that you want to be close to home and everything like that. That's cool, but there's. I can see the actions. I can see the actions. I can see if he was like, he got the resume together and sent it to me, and then he was like, you know what? I got to decide between the two. You know, I'm gonna go with this one because it's closer to the house or whatever. Okay, I get it. But you ain't even get your resume.
He didn't even put the time in.
No.
So that's why I think we all agree robots are better, because inherently human beings are lazy.
They're not reliable.
Greedy, give me more for less.
Right.
Hold on a second.
A robot doesn't have
I need
emotions.
Some more something. Oh, hold on. Tell the robot. Yep. All right. The robot's coming.
Yeah,
I don't have to be like, I told you.
They're 100%
Yeah.
efficient.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
And in our industry, it's all about uptime, right? So with the robots, minimum maintenance required, some annuals possibly, but then the rest of the time is 100% uptime.
Yes.
Making sure they're charged. And that's it.
You'll have no more complaints. It probably will boost the revenue because more people will want to come back. I don't know, you know.
So y'all are advocating for the Thanos snap. That's what you're advocating for. You're waiting for the
damn
snap
near.
happen. But you don't realize y'all.
I have no idea what that is.
everybody's gone. Half
You're
people
part
are
of.
gone.
You realize you're under the bar, so you are part of the snap.
Well, I'm going to be above it, so
Right.
I'm good.
Because our jobs are.
You know why? Because I'm going to work really hard to get above that bar.
Right. So even if I am under that bar, then all right, I'm gone. I don't have to worry about anything then.
Not bullshit. Because you just like everybody at this table is a hard worker and is going to want to try to their damnedest to get above that bar.
You'd be pretty
Yeah,
hard
hell yeah.
pressed if the
So
fucking system goes down.
all these people
Depression
that
again, like
want
it
to sit
was.
on the couch, want to collect the check, guess what? They're
But you know what the selling point is to U.B.I. though, that they've been kind of trying to get, and I know it's a smoke screen, but it sounds good, and it usually does. Is you have more time to do what you always wanted to do.
can it mow my grass? Because
I was like,
shoot his leg. I mean,
it sounds good. It sounds good. It does. But how much are you going to be able to do on $500?
Right.
Or whatever the fucking, whatever the number is.
Is
'Cause it's
everything
gonna
else
be-
paid? Is everything else paid for?
No.
Oh, so I still have a mortgage?
Yeah.
Still have a car payment?
Yeah.
So I'm still gonna have to work
I mean,
because
You're-
$500 ain't gonna pay that.
no, I'm saying I just threw a number out there. So let's say the universal basic income covers the house, the cars, no gas though.
No gas.
The house.
Okay. I mean, gas is pretty high
Actually,
right now.
no. It doesn't cover the cars. It doesn't cover the cars. It
Okay.
just covers shelter and food.
Shelter and food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
$500?
basic things you're supposed to meet.
I won't even be able to pay for one of my cars.
Right.
Like
For real.
done.
Yeah.
So I guess Ashley's walking.
The Challenger's got to go.
Just joking, baby.
I can already see the comments. Comment below if you disagree with this guy.
Right.
I get her a horse. Don't worry.
You got anything else you want to bring up?
No, just whatever platform that you are on, give us the feedback. Give us the feedback in the comments. Let us know how you feel about it and what you think about it. Give us your piece.
You gonna be cliche?
Use those robots to reach out to us.
Like and subscribe, people.
Use those robots to.
I don't know exactly where we're at. This show's a little shorter than normal, but that's okay. You got anything else you want
That's
to
it.
bring up?
That's it. That's all I got, man.
It's pretty clear cut.
Yeah.
Mr. U.B.I., how you feeling?
Oh, good. I was opposition here.
I know. I know. We needed it. We needed it.
It was good.
We needed it.
Because if not, everybody agreed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why he
No
is
world does anybody agree.
right. Right.
I mean, if it was just us, it'd be a perfect world.
Oh,
Saying.
it'd be over. Everyone would be fed and happy.
Yeah.
That's back to UBI right there.
The way I'm going to close
The
this
full
out, then,
circle.
the way I'm going to close this out is half of you I ain't going to see.
Ah!